What you guys are seeing right now is our first ever look at the GTA 6 trailer. Rockstar was forced to release it early due to a leak once again, but today I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about this trailer, breaking it down and sharing it with you guys. So let's just jump straight into this. First, we open up with this beautiful shot of what appears to be the outskirts of Vice City. The first thing that stands out immediately is the lighting. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The graphics of this game have improved significantly from Red Dead Redemption 2 and of course GTA 5. In the distance, there's something noteworthy to point out is that giant building. To me, that looks like some form of a correctional facility or potentially a prison that we see Lucia in the next scene. You've got a giant tower which I hope you'll be able to climb to the top of, a massive passenger plane, you've got volumetric clouds which are going to be fantastic to fly through, and on the highway you've got a variety of different vehicles, both new and old. Looks like towing is also making a comeback in GTA 6, which is fantastic. In this shot, we get our first proper look at the main protagonist of GTA 6, Lucia. As you guys can see, she's in prison right now, which I do speculate is going to be how the game is going to open. Maybe we'll have to do some sort of like a heist to get out of prison. I think that would be pretty fun, like a little prologue to kickstart the game. So on the right, you guys can see a picture of what appears to be a family. So it is rumored that Lucia has got a kid, but we don't know the age of that kid, so it's entirely possible that could be her on the picture on the left, and maybe the person in the middle or to the right could be one of her kids. In our next shot, we see Lucia sit down with what appears to be a prisoner counselor named Stephanie. The counselor then proceeds to ask Lucia, do you know why you're here? And her response being, bad luck, I guess. This kind of makes us question, how did she end up in prison in the first place? Is this something that happens before the game even starts and we just pick up as Lucia inside of the prison? I guess it's something that we'll have to find out once the game finally comes out. The next scene is the proper money shot as we get a full view of Vice City and all of its glory. First of all, the water looks absolutely stunning. We see different animals in there, looks like dolphins, sharks, what appears to be, I believe, pelicans flying through the sky as well, and the level of detail and the amount of NPCs on the beach is just on another level. Once we get a clear view of the skyline, you guys can see how many skyscrapers and high-rise buildings we've got compared to Los Santos, and we've got a couple of air vehicles in the sky, what appears to be a Maverick on the left side and a Dodo on the right carrying a banner. So I do wonder if those banners will be customizable, if that's something you'll be able to actually attach to your plane in GTA 6 or GTA 6 Online. I think that would be pretty cool with different messaging and whatnot, or maybe it's going to be part of a mission. So the next noteworthy shot is this shot of what appears to be the Floridian Everglades. If you don't know what the Everglades are, it's basically a giant swampland, and it looks like we've got a returning vehicle from San Andreas, which is the fun boat right there, with a couple of what appears to be hunters, because the guy at the front does appear to have some sort of a rifle that he's holding onto. So right here we catch a proper glimpse at some of the wildlife in GTA 6. As you guys can see, a lot of bloody flamingos. You've got crocodiles in the water. In the distance, you can see a couple of deer. And there is some sort of a shadowy animal that I can't really make out on the right side of the screen. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments down below. Once again, the vegetation, the draw distance, it just looks stunning. When I saw this shot for the first time, my jaw fully dropped. So in the sky, we've got 4 different vehicles, appears to be 3 helicopters and a private jet. One of those helicopters I can actually recognize from GTA 5, which is the one on the right, the Sea Sparrow. I believe the one in the middle, it was also in GTA 5, but I don't quite recall the vehicle. So one thing to point out about all the NPCs is they're all different skin tones, they're all different heights, body types, shapes, sizes, and I think we're gonna see some of that customization in GTA 6 Online. Couple of people running on the beach. One thing to point out about them, the guy is absolutely jacked, and there's a dog, a little chihuahua. There's a guy on the right recording some sussy videos, and on the left, a girl is getting sprayed and her body actually begins to shine, which is another nice little level of detail. We've got returning jet skis on the right side, looks like a trailer and a truck towing it, and yeah, just the draw distance, the level of stuff that's happening on screen is just absolutely mind-blowing. Here we get our first proper look at the Vice City docks. We've got 3 speedboats racing towards the camera. The water, the blue tint, it looks absolutely fantastic. A giant cargo ship in the distance that's actually being unloaded via a crane. Once again, we've got the skyline of Vice City in the background. Looks like a lot of areas of Vice City are going to be accessible via water. That's why I think water vehicles are going to play a major part in this game. And I think in the back on the left, next to the left boat, appears to be some sort of a smaller tugboat just swimming away. Next, we get a night shot of Vice City and what appears to be Lucia and Jason driving a red convertible. So on the sign above them, we see Kelly County and Vice City International Airport, as well as Stockyard downtown. So as Lucia and Jason are driving down the highway, we see a car in front of them and a guy leaning out taking pictures. This could hint at a feature that's making its way to GTA 6, which is the ability to lean out of vehicles and shoot using two-handed weapons. To the left of them, we've got a massive building, what appears to be some sort of like an arena or a giant shopping mall, but overall, a great scene. So this shot is really cool. The lighting and everything about it just makes it look so real. So lowriders are making a comeback to GTA 6, as was to be expected. A lot of customization. We see a police maverick in the sky to the left. And once again, level of detail is just on another level. So in this next shot, we continue the nightlife theme of Vice City with a strip club. And we've got jiggle physics and looks like people are just having a good time in here. Once again, this blows out GTA 5 out of the water. The vanilla unicorn does not even compare to this shot with the amount of details that we're seeing on screen right now. In our next shot, we get a close-up of what appears to be a couple of gang members. One thing to point out, one of the guys has got golden teeth. So maybe that's hinting at a customization option in GTA 6 Online. The chains and the kind of metallic textures look really good here. And since we're getting a close-up, I'm not sure if this is going to be a main character or someone noteworthy, but overall, a great shot. Once again, we're presented with a stunning view of Vice City at night. You can see one of the Vice City islands, and there's a lot of things to unpack here. So first of all, the giant yacht on the right side is actually moving, which makes me think you'll be able to actually hijack it. On the left side, you've got a bunch of smaller ones, which once again, I think you'll be able to steal. A nice little detail is that the vehicles on the road have got two different headlamp styles. Some of them have got the older yellowish lights, whilst the others have got the white LED beams. Next, we see more shots of Vice City nightlife, and we get a good look at some of the vehicles we come to expect in GTA 6. Not much to say about the next scene. It seems like a big party or some form of a nightclub. You've got a DJ up on stage, lighting is fantastic, all the different animations look great, and put together, once again, makes the scene feel very alive. Next, we move on to what is one of my favorite scenes of this entire trailer, which is this shot right here. Looks like it's basically a highway just connecting all the islands together. I'm not exactly sure if this could be the Florida Keys, but as you guys can see, we've got more different ships in the water. Looks like cargo ships that are transporting containers. We've got big yachts, smaller yachts, you've got dinghies in the water, a dodo plane, which I think is going to be extremely useful, judging by the fact that there's a lot of water in Vice City. So a lot of places for you to be able to land, and you've got a bridge that's either being constructed or deconstructed, and looks like it's angled perfectly for a little stunt jump. In the distance, there's something that not a lot of people have pointed out yet. It to me appears like there's an airship or some sort of a blimp parked on one of the islands. Now, we already know this is probably everyone's favorite scene from this trailer, and I think we all know why. But the first thing that stands out, believe it or not, is the hair, okay? Trust me on this, all right? Trust me. This scene gives us a fantastic overview of Vice City in the background. The level of detail, all the different streets that you'll be able to race down in GTA 6. Once again, we've got a couple of passenger planes in the sky. These look to be slightly different to the ones that we've seen before. And once again, level of detail and everything put together makes this feel like a real city. Next, we get a shot of the Vice sign, just in case you were still wondering what the hell is this city. And in the distance, you can actually see a control tower for the Vice City International Airport. Next, we get a compilation of different clips, short clips from what appears to be Rockstar version of Instagram or TikTok, basically their own little social media within this universe. I do wonder if it's gonna play some sort of a prominent role, if maybe you can become some sort of a celebrity, or maybe you encounter a bunch of fake celebrities out there, you know, pretending to be rich and famous on social media, but actually in reality they're sad little loners. But as you guys can see, we've got an old dude partying with a bunch of young people on a boat. He's probably filthy rich. Then we've got what appears to be pest control dragging an alligator out of the water. I'd love to actually see these types of encounters out and about in the world as you're just kind of exploring GTA 6. I hope that's something that they'll very much emphasize in this game. And then you've got a very juicy shot of a girl twerking on a car. So, yeah, there's that. This next shot shows us some illegal street racing or maybe some form of a car meet. As you guys can see, large crowds have gathered around, cars drifting around, and in the middle you can see two people standing on top of a car dancing and someone recording them. And we can see that directly in the next shot where we get a view through the social media that Rockstar has created of those two people standing on top of the car dancing away. Next, we get an average Floridian moment where you've got an alligator walking into some sort of a cafe or a convenience store. As you guys can see, Go Postal is making a return in this game, as you can see above the door. And I do hope once again that we see a lot of these types of encounters in GTA 6. Next, we get a super interesting shot of what appears to be a police raid going down, shown through a body cam footage, which also appears to be in first person. So maybe this is indicating that first person is going to be making a return in GTA 6. I do speculate this could be one of the main missions that involves Jason potentially. My theory on him, he could be some sort of a cop that either got fired or maybe has some sort of a warrant against him because he did something during a raid maybe that he shouldn't have. That's why he ended up turning to the life of crime. Here we got another compilation of different clips from the Rockstar social media in this universe. First, we see a man being chased by a cop who's completely naked, which is kind of interesting. And it's called Planet Leonidia Man, the account that posted this, which makes me think that Leonidia is going to be the name of the state of Florida. Next, we see a redneck on the highway road raging, and we see some signs in the distance basically pointing to Vice Beaches, Port Vice City/Keys, Vice City Airport, and Kelly County, which is going to be obviously the areas that you'll be able to explore in GTA 6. We've got tow trucks, so towing is making a comeback in GTA 6. And a cool little detail that I noticed is the door handle for the car is actually sellotaped to it. I'm not exactly sure if this is a baseball bat, just kind of like twisted, and it could be used as a weapon. You can maybe just rip it out and start bashing people away, or if it is just the door handle falling apart, so he decided to just stick it with sellotape. In this next show, we've got a guy just performing some weird stunt, and according to the caption, he could potentially be dead. But once again, we see amazing hair physics. The glittery paint on the car looks kind of cool, and we've seen that a lot in this trailer, so it makes me think it's gonna be one of the options for car customization. Overall, just a very green looking scene. This next scene is absolutely iconic. We've got an old wrinkly man with sunburn wearing a thong watering his lawn. Even though it's raining and there's actual puddles on the ground. That is a typical Rockstar thing to do, and I absolutely love it. Once again, vegetation, massive standout, looks fantastic. This next shot is quite interesting. Looks like people are just partying in the mud. There's a lot of 4x4s, a lot of ATVs, race suspension, and there's a monster truck in the background which looks to be struggling to get through the mud. Maybe GTA 6 off-roading is going to play completely differently to how it did in GTA 5. Maybe it's going to be a lot more difficult. I think I'd like to see that mechanic, you know, considering that there's a lot of swamp plants in Florida and in this game. Here we've got our first look at a GTA 6 Karen. What appears to be a Karen anyway, judging by the caption of this video. And what's interesting, she's got more lines in this trailer than Jason does, which is one of the main characters of this game. What follows is another shot of what appears to be that off-roading mud event. People are partying, there's a car going up the hill, struggling up the mud, and yeah, everyone is just covered in it, so it makes me think this is basically the same party, but simply at nighttime. This next scene shows us Lucia from first-person perspective as they watch two cop cars race in the opposite direction to them. This makes me believe they just performed some sort of a robbery or a heist, because in the next scene you see Lucia with a bandana around her neck holding a stack of cash. Jason is driving the car, also wearing a bandana, and later on in the trailer we see them wear those bandanas to rob a convenience store, which makes me think they just pulled off some sort of a store robbery. Next, we've got a compilation of different news reports. First, we see a car crash on the highway. Looks like a car flipped over, crashed into the barriers. The The water tanks have completely burst. They're scattered all over the place, and it has been rumored that the car crashes are going to look much better in GTA 6. We've got a couple of police cars basically responding to the scene, dragging people from underneath the flipped car. Our next shot appears to show some sort of a motorcycle gang. A lot of them are wearing balaclavas, a lot of them are wearing helmets covering their faces, and also I can already tell that every 11-year-old is going to customize their character exactly like the guy that's riding on the back of that quad bike doing a wheelie. We got another shot of the motorcycle gang just terrorizing Vice City from the sky, as Weasel News is reporting, which again is making a comeback in this game. Next, we get a night shot of what could be potential street racing around the streets of Vice City. And something very interesting, maybe I'm the only person that's seen this sign at the back who says, "Who hurt you?" Does that look like Mr. Beast to you on the left? Because it definitely looks like it to me. And on the left side on the car, in the reflection, you can see real-time reflection, which makes me think RTX is going to be making some sort of an appearance in GTA 6. The RTX technology, you know, the reflections, the lighting. Maybe that's why this game looks so good. And maybe that's why they're waiting until 2025. So, you know, computers can catch up. Here we get a shot that I mentioned earlier about Lucia and Jason robbing a store together. As you guys can see, they're wearing bandanas to cover their faces. Looks like they're in a convenience store, and then they're racing away from it in a car which looks identical to the one we saw in an earlier scene, which basically confirms my theory that those scenes are all connected and it's all part of one big robbery. Next, we get an intimate scene between Lucia and Jason, and we finally hear Jason speak for the first time in this trailer. He got less lines than the crazy lady from earlier on. And with that being said, I think Lucia is going to be the main protagonist of this game because she's been center stage in this entire trailer, whereas Jason is kind of a side character to her. She's the one that seems to be asking him to trust her, which makes me think she's taking a lead on a lot of the stuff that they do. And maybe she's the one that's going to convince Jason to basically take up the kind of lawless life and just, like, you know, live out happily ever after. They're all being banks or like something. I don't know. And then we finish up with the shot of them two bursting into a convenience store, which is, I believe, from the beginning of that kind of sequence of events where they rob the store, then they see the cops heading in the opposite direction. You can see the same car in the distance just behind them. Lucia is holding the Glock pistol, whereas Jason appears to be holding the 1911. Really cool gun, awesome scene, and basically that wraps up the trailer for GTA 6. We get the official logo and the release date, which pains me to say is 2025. And worst of all, and I'm sorry to be a bummer about this, there's no release date for PC. So this is only for the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox. So I assume we're gonna get a PC release date maybe the following year, so 2026. I am gonna be over 30 when this game comes out. Oh my god, that's crazy. I was in school when GTA 5 came out. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel for plenty more GTA 6 content. I know it's weird to say, but stay tuned to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.